What happens when you reach 50 lakh rupees invested? Imagine checking your investment account one morning and seeing a number you've dreamed about for years. 50 lakh rupees, half a crore. For many people, that number feels like a finish line, a moment when life should suddenly feel different. Maybe you've imagined that reaching 50 lakh rupees invested would make you feel rich, secure, and completely relaxed about money. But here's the surprising truth. The most important thing about reaching 50 lakh rupees isn't the money itself. It's what starts happening after you get there. And that's where most people completely misunderstand wealth. Let's talk about why. Most people think wealth is built through hard work alone. Work harder, earn more, save more, invest more, repeat. And while that's partly true in the beginning, something interesting happens as your investments grow. Let's imagine two people. The first person has invested 1 lakh rupees. The second person has invested 50 lakh rupees. Both investments grow by 10% in a year. The first person earns 10,000 rupees. The second person earns 5 lakh rupees. Same percentage, completely different result. The person with 50 lakh rupees didn't work 5 times harder. They didn't spend 5 times more hours studying stock. Their money simply had a much bigger engine working for them. This is one of the biggest shifts that happens when you reach 50 lakh rupees invested. Your money starts contributing in a meaningful way. Until then, most wealth comes from your effort. After that, a growing portion comes from your asset. Think of it like pushing a giant flywheel. At the beginning, it's incredibly difficult. Every push feels small, nothing seems to move. You save a few thousand rupees, you invest every month, you skip unnecessary expenses, you stay patient. And for years, the results seem disappointingly slow. Then eventually, the flywheel gains momentum. Suddenly, each push creates a larger effect. That's exactly how investing works. The first few lakhs are often the hardest, but by the time you reach 50 lakh rupees, momentum starts becoming visible. And this creates a psychological shift that many people don't expect, because the goal you chased for years doesn't feel the way you imagine. Most people believe a specific number will magically solve all their financial worries. First, it's 10 lakh rupees, then 25 lakh rupees, then 50 lakh rupees, then 1 crore rupees. The target keeps moving. Psychologists call this the arrival fallacy. It's the belief that happiness and satisfaction will automatically appear when we reach a future goal. But when we finally get there, our expectations move again. Suddenly, 50 lakh rupees doesn't feel huge anymore. Instead of feeling wealthy, people start comparing themselves to those with 1 crore rupees, or 5 crore rupees, or 10 crore rupees. And that's where many investors make a mistake. They stop appreciating how far they've come. They become trapped in an endless comparison game. The reality is that 50 lakh rupees invested puts you far ahead of where most people ever get. Not because it's enough to retire tomorrow, but because it proves something important. You've built a system. You understand delayed gratification. You know how to save consistently. And perhaps most importantly, you've learned how to stay invested when others panic. Those skills are often more valuable than the money itself, because skills can build the next 50 lakh rupees too. Let's look at another interesting shift. When your portfolio reaches 50 lakh rupees, market movements begin to feel different. Imagine the market rises by 2%. Your investments may increase by around 1 lakh rupees. Now imagine the market falls by 2%. You might see 1 lakh rupees disappear. For many people, this is emotionally difficult. Even experienced investors feel uncomfortable. This is where psychology becomes more important than knowledge, because wealth building isn't just a math problem, it's a behavior problem. People often think successful investors know some secret formula. In reality, many successful investors simply avoid making emotional decisions. When the numbers become larger, emotions become larger too. Fear becomes stronger. Greed becomes stronger. The temptation to constantly check your portfolio becomes stronger. But the investors who continue growing their wealth usually understand one simple principle. Temporary market movements are not permanent losses. They stay focused on the long-term picture. And that's exactly why many people never reach major financial milestones. Not because they lack intelligence, not because they earn too little, but because emotions interrupt the process. Now here's something even more interesting. At 50 lakh rupees invested, the conversation slowly shifts from accumulation to optimization. In the beginning, the biggest question is, how can I invest more money? Later, the question becomes, how can I make my money work more efficiently? You start thinking about asset allocation, risk management, tax efficiency, long-term planning. not because you're trying to get rich overnight, but because preserving wealth becomes almost as important as building it. This is another sign that your relationship with money is evolving. You stop seeing money as something to spend. You start seeing it as something that creates options. Options to take a career break, options to start a business, options to support family members, options to make decisions without constant financial stress. And ultimately, that's what wealth really provides. Freedom, not luxury, not status, not expensive cars. Freedom, the freedom to make choices based on what matters to you rather than what your bank account demands. That's why reaching 50 lakh rupees invested is such an important milestone. It's not just a number. It's evidence that compounding is beginning to work in your favor. It's proof that consistency can outperform motivation. And it's a reminder that wealth is often built quietly through ordinary decisions repeated for years. So what should you do if you're still far away from 50 lakh rupees? Don't focus on the number. Focus on the process. Focus on increasing your savings rate. Focus on investing consistently. Focus on avoiding emotional mistakes, because the habits that build the first 5 lakh rupees are often the same habits that eventually build 50 lakh rupees. And if you've already reached 50 lakh rupees invested, remember this: the milestone itself isn't the reward. The real reward is becoming the kind of person who was capable of reaching it. Because wealth isn't created in a single moment. It's created through thousands of small decisions that nobody notices. And one day, those decisions quietly add up to something extraordinary. That's what really happens when you reach 50 lakh rupees invested. Your money grows, but more importantly, you've grown too.